We're about to discuss a topic that is near and dear to Complex Heart. All right. Is Wardley's victory over Joseph Parker better than any win on Wilder's resume? The boxing show that Ring puts out made a statement, and we're just going to talk about it. We discussed this. They say a lot of things like every week that could either be considered rage bait or controversial, and here's the latest. Let's listen.
Now I'm seeing comparisons on Twitter to Deontay Wilder, but let me say it right here. Wardley already has a better win on his resume than Wilder has in Joseph Parker. Wilder does not have one win on his resume as good as Joseph Parker.
Well, he got the draw against Tyson Fury, so technically you're right.
Yeah, what's Luis Ortiz was the boogeyman.
King Kong Ortiz, correct. I stand corrected.
Luis Ortiz.
That was a very good win.
That was a very good win. I was thinking Luis Ortiz elite shady.
I'll tell you why.
That's a good win, y'all.
Parker has had maybe a better career. Ortiz was a guy no one wanted to fight.
That was a good win. That was a very good win.
They didn't want to say
hand speed, punching
Yeah, he
power.
could box too. Yeah.
I'm going Parker.
And he was beating Wilder the whole fight.
But it's
The second one.
And then he caught
Second
him.
one, yes.
But whether or not you think it's Wilder or Wardley at this
Either
point,
way.
Cop makes a good point.
That's a good point.
It's at least debatable
Yeah.
that already in Wardley's career he has a sensational win.
All right. Complex. Is Fabio Wardley's victory over Joseph Parker better than any win that Deontay Wilder has on his resume?
All right. This may surprise you guys, but I will venture to say yes, right? For this reason. But hear me out, because I don't think that's the real argument that's being made here. I think they're trying to have another argument by making this point, but I'm gonna draw the distinction. On paper, is Joseph Parker a better win than you could say any win on Wilder's, right? And I know you did the whole Wilder audits, so there's, you guys can search the internet. You can see Caden breaking down Wilder's resume, win for win, every single win. But in any event, Joseph Parker right now is a former world champion, right? Which I don't think he actually, did he ever defend the belt? I don't know. I think after he won it against Andy Ruiz, he won a vacant belt against Andy Ruiz, and then, but I don't think he defended the belt.
He lost it to Anthony Joshua.
However, he's a former world champion, right? At the end of the day, former world champion. Then he also has, in recent years, been having really good wins against top level guys, right? And right now, he was ranked highly in the world with the Ring. So at the very least, he was, you know what I mean, a top guy. But does that mean that hold on? So Joseph Parker right now is, one of the best fighters in the world. So a win over him does mean something. But does that mean that, and looking at Wilder's resume, you can look at what's his best win. He has wins over, a bunch of guys, but let's say Luis Ortiz is the best win, right? Is the more recent win, the more impressive one. But at the end of the day, is Joseph Parker a better win than Luis Ortiz? Yes, because he's a world champion. He was a world champion. Luis Ortiz, I think, at the best had an interim championship. He never actually won the world championship. So on paper, yes. However, does that make Wardley a better fighter than Wilder? No. I think that's what Kopp was trying to say in a roundabout way, that, he's got a better win than him. No, he doesn't. Yes, he does, but that doesn't make him a better fighter per se, right? Also, the fact that, obviously, Parker defeated Wilder recently, right? But let's also be real. Wilder is a shell of his former self. Wilder probably doesn't need to fight anymore. After the third fight with Fury, I think that probably should have been the end of his career, or he just should have taken time off or done nothing else. But he takes some more fights, and he's still trying to take fights. I personally disagree with that. I think he needs either an extended time away from the sport or just to leave the sport at all. He's also 40 years old. I think you've done enough. But to me, if you want to look at the way whenever we do these mythical matchups, I like to look at the fighter at his best, right? And to me, Wilder at his best, however, whatever time you want to say, Wilder at his best is far better than Wardley at his best, right? Because you want to make a case like, well, Wardley's win over Parker is more impressive or whatever than anything Wilder's done in his career. First off, Wilder was an actual world champion, right? At the time, he won the world championship. Then he defended it. He held the belt for like 5 years, right? So until somebody does something like that, you can't make a case against Wilder, right? That that Wardley right now hasn't been able to do anything close to that. One win doesn't make you, your whole career or whatever, right? Because there's guys who also get lucky wins. Remember, he was losing the fight, and then he got turned around and got the stoppage win, right? So there's a case that he could have lost that fight if things didn't, and also Parker was on his feet when he got stopped. So it's not like Parker was, knocked out cold or whatever. So this is still debatable. My point is this. I think the show, they're trying to, obviously he said like rage bait and whatever. And you know how fans feel about Wilder. It's easy to say like, oh, whatever, you want to compare guys. But if we want to talk facts, Wilder was a world champion. Wilder defended the belt. I think at least 10, 11 times, right? And he did it over something like a 5-year period. I don't care what you say. I don't care what you feel about the champions. That is hard to do. Nobody else, there's very few people you can pick in boxing history who've ever done that. And there's been times in boxing history where there's been terrible opposition, right? There's been that mid 2000s range, right? Like after Lennox and before, like all of Vitali's reign Vitali and Vladimir's reign, the guys were like, okay, there was good guys, but there was good champions, but nothing like crazy. There's spaces there where you could look at some of those fighters, some of those wins, and you would debate like in terms of the all-time, how good are these guys? Wilder, however you feel about him, was a long reigning world champion. So is that one win? Sure, you can make that argument. He beat a world champion who's really highly ranked. But is Wardley better than Wilder? Absolutely not. 1,000% not. Not even close. Now, if Wardley goes on his career and accomplishes more and does things, sure, I'll give him that. But right now, off of one win over Parker, do you want to say that he's on the all-time list better than Wilder? No. How can you say that? He's never been a champion. He's never had to defend the belt multiple times. It's a completely different conversation. So I feel like Coppinger was trying to like sneak this a little bit in there by making that argument. So that was my argument. If you even look at the tweet there, you might see me underneath there making a case like, hey, hold on a second.
Oh, word, you responded?
I commented on it. You might see my comment under there because I was like, hold on. I was like, a better win doesn't mean that he's a better fighter.
Usually would show me like people I know that commented first, like if they would pop up. I don't see your comment though.
No, I'm pretty sure. I don't know if that was the video, the same one.
Maybe you commented on a different video.
Maybe
that posted this, because the one that I have up, I don't see your name.
But anyways, that's that. I saw that and I was like, oh my god, I know people are about to go ham on this, but I was like, yeah, this is not what they're really trying to say.
Interesting discussion for me, because one, if you're talking about, and this is the thing about criteria and being nitpicky, and I'm going to break it down. If you say who has the best victory, then I do agree. Fabio Wardley has a better victory. Like his win over Joseph Parker is better than any win that Deontay Wilder has on his resume, and that's true. Luis Ortiz, to me, is the greatest mystery in boxing. Nobody knows how good he actually is because he only fought Wilder twice, and he lost by KO to Wilder twice, and he's never fought any of the other big names. He never fought Anthony Joshua. He never fought Tyson Fury. He never fought Andy Ruiz.
He did fight Andy Ruiz.
Oh, yeah, he did. He lost to Andy Ruiz.
He lost to Andy Ruiz, I think, on points.
Yeah, on points. Yeah, that's right. He did lose to Andy Ruiz. But
that fight, though, I feel like was from what I remember, it was like winnable for him. I think he did something. He messed up somewhere where I feel like Luis Ortiz, is another, like, he could have, if things worked differently, he could have been a different guy. Like, he could have been a bigger name. Or
the reason why, honestly, like, it even skipped my mind is because by the time Luis Ortiz fought Andy Ruiz, he was probably like 50 years old. We all know, like, they say how old he is, and then there's how old we really think Luis Ortiz is. But my point is,
officially, he's 46 right now.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So it doesn't even matter. The point is, right, with him, he hasn't really been in the ring with the other champions except for Andy Ruiz, and he lost. So we can't really gauge how good he is. But Joseph Parker, on the other hand, is a former heavyweight champion, and he has good victories, and he's beaten some of the top contenders in the sport, and even beat Deontay Wilder, former heavyweight champion. So he has these good victories. So on paper, yes, Fabio Wardley's victory over Deontay Wilder is better. I mean, over Joseph Parker is better than any win that Deontay Wilder has on his resume. But that doesn't tell the entire story. Now, see, I'm someone who believes that you can earn a lot and prove a lot in a loss. And this is why I feel like you have to judge someone's body of work. And when people talk about the Hall of Fame for someone like Triple G, and they're like, oh, who did he beat? That's not the only argument. You can't make the arguments about who did he beat. It's about what did you give the sport and how did you perform, right? And I'm someone who did make the audits for Deontay Wilder because at the time he was getting credit for fighting bums, and I'm just being real. And it was annoying me that everyone would bring up his KO percentage, and I'm like, it's easy to KO bums. And I was right. Look at what happened when he fought Jang and when he fought Joseph Parker. Not only did he not KO them, he lost to them. So all I'm trying to say is you can have a high KO percentage when you're fighting people who aren't capable of fighting back. That was my only point. I wasn't trying to disgrace the man. And the point that point still stands. But when it comes to Deontay Wilder, what people don't give him credit for is the draw. The draw against Tyson Fury, to me, is more impressive than the Joseph Parker victory. Because when you factor in Tyson Fury and what he's done, defeating Vladimir Klitschko, and then he defeated Deontay Wilder, and although he lost to Usyk, he gave Usyk, who is currently the guy today, the toughest fights that he's had. So you got to respect Tyson Fury's ability. Tyson Fury is a very good fighter, and Deontay Wilder has a draw with him. Deontay Wilder is better than Joseph Parker. I don't think anyone would debate that. So you have to look now and say, all right, not win, because you take it to win and you say who has the most impressive win. Yes, Fabio Wardley has the most impressive win. But who had the most impressive fight? Like, who has the most impressive performance? A draw with Tyson Fury? Like, his entire life, you can say whatever you want about Deontay Wilder's skill, but, dog, he drawed with Tyson Fury. And he dropped him several times. And who knows, if Jack Reese isn't the ref, some refs would have waved off that knockdown in the 12th round. And he would have a KO victory over Tyson Fury. Lord knows I'm happy Jack Reese didn't wave that. That fight.
Bro, I always say that count is one of the most controversial things. That would have changed boxing history wildly. You know what I mean?
It would have. It would have.
Literally, if anybody, and you remember Ben Davison almost threw the towel in because he was afraid, because he saw the knockdown. It was, I think, Freddie Roach stopped him, was in the corner. Something like that happened. That's the lore of what happened during that fight. Like, when Tyson went down, Ben Davison, he saw the count. He was about to throw the towel in to, like, stop it because he was like, oh, that's such a scary knockdown. Tyson, and credit to Tyson Fury for waking up somehow, even if he had more than 10 seconds.
He woke up, like, with all his faculties ready to go. It was crazy.
It was like he did a factory reset. It was like, okay, I'm back.
Yeah.
So credit to him, even if you want to make the case that was more than 10 seconds, whatever, we know it's a 10 count. And then even that if the referee was giving him a lot of chances, walking back and forth, at the end of the day, when you get your lights turned out like that and you have to come back in, that's still impressive. The fact that he was able to even get up, stand up on his 2 feet, and last another minute or so of the fight, right? So, yes, and that's a good point. I didn't want to say because we're talking about wins, the draw against Tyson Fury, and then even the losses to Tyson Fury. The second fight obviously was a complete wash, but the third fight, I think Wilder showed so much in that fight that that loss is better than some people's wins, right? Of whoever else, right? And that's why I said at his best, if you were to put Wilder versus Wardley or whatever, I would pick Wilder. Right now, I think Wilder is probably shot, right? And is a little bit washed. I think Fury still has, because Fury, he's taken punishment, but Fury probably doesn't need to fight much more either, because that fight against Francis Ngannou was kind of scary. The fact that he got knocked down, that he was even, you know what I'm saying? Like, so Fury is like on that level too, and then obviously he got knocked down against Usyk.
Even the fight with Usyk, he was dominating. Well, not dominating. That's too strong of a word, but he was up, in my opinion, in the first
He was
fight.
outboxing him.
And then that ninth round, once Usyk hurt him, it changed the complexion of the fight.
And that happens after you've been through certain wars.
Exactly.
So it's like you don't need, you know what I'm saying? So you can't. It's hard to now to rank whatever Fury's performance is now after his wars, right? And then be like, oh well, he's this or that, or you want to, you know what I'm saying? So it's just there's a certain line for every fight. Every fighter has a line, and that might be his. But in any event, I think we're not going to really respect guys until they're long gone. Wilder brought something to the sport. He brought an excitement when heavyweight boxing in America was pretty much dead. He brought excitement to the sport. He brought knockouts. He was the best American heavyweight. We haven't seen since he left who's come up in the American ranks. I mean, Big Baby, the one from Ohio, what's his face?
Jared Anderson.
Jared Anderson. He was supposed to be the next great hype, and then he got knocked out, right? The other Big Baby Miller, Jarrell Big Baby Miller, was another dude who's supposed to be something, and he keeps messing up. And I think we probably talk about him. I don't know at some point.
That's Big Pharma, man.
Yeah, Big Pharma. Can't keep the needle out of him. So for Wilder, who's never had any kind of bad things, whatever, in terms of the sport, always carried himself very well, brought excitement to the ring, I think he doesn't get the respect he deserves. At the end of the day, he made his money. I'm sure he's happy. He sleeps fine.
I don't know about not getting the respect he deserves, but what I will say, and that's the point that I'm making, is it's one thing to look at BoxRec, and BoxRec can tell you who won the fights, but it can't tell you the story. Like the point I was making with Zach Parker and Joshua Buatsi. Like if you're there and you're witnessing it and you're taking contemporaneous notes, or you actually see it so you know the story, it changes things. If you watched Deontay Wilder fight Tyson Fury in that first fight, you know that he had an opportunity to win, and you know that he dropped him, and you know that maybe a different ref waves it off. And although it was a draw, it was an impressive fight for him. I mean, the more you know, though, you know that Tyson Fury was sitting on the couch, 400 pounds, lost weight, had 2 fights that same year just to get in shape. Then he fought Deontay Wilder, and then that happened. Then the rematch happened, and he stopped Deontay Wilder. Well, not stopped him. Deontay Wilder's corner threw in a towel, but it was going to get ugly for Deontay Wilder. Then you know about Glovegate, and then you know how there was a lot of pressure on Deontay Wilder because it was like, you said you die in the ring, you fired your trainer, you did all this crap, you better go out there and win. And I'm telling you, this is coming from me. I'm the one who made the Deontay Wilder audits and all this stuff. I'm watching this fight, ready to celebrate Deontay Wilder's retirement. Like, I'm ready to watch him lose, and somehow the way he performed in that fight made me feel like, yo, I respect this dude. I respect this man. These are things that BoxRec is not going to show you. You understand that? So it's easy to go off of like who he beat. That's why I said that all that doesn't tell you the story. Like Deontay Wilder, to me, in the loss to Tyson Fury in the third fight, and I didn't want to see the third fight. I called it the third fight nobody asked for. Remember, he had to go and they did arbitration and the whole 9 to get this fight. And I'm like, Wilder did all this to get his A whoop. And he did. But he also did some whooping on Tyson Fury. I'm telling you, when he dropped Tyson Fury that second time, I think it may have been in the 4th round.
The 4th round, yeah.
Yeah. Because Fury dropped him, and I was so happy. I'm like, yes, it's over. And then he dropped Fury twice, I think, in the 4th round. You could see Fury looking like, do I really want to get up? Like, and then Fury got up. But this is the fight where I'm like, these two guys, like, they made classics. Like, they have a classic trilogy. That trilogy is a part of boxing history. And to me, Deontay Wilder's going to be in the Hall of Fame, and he deserves to be because of that trilogy. So if you're asking me, is Fabio Wardley a Hall of Famer right now? No. But is Deontay Wilder? Yes. So to cherry pick certain things just to make a point, to me, is disingenuous. Like, and that's why I say
it's rage bait.
They're rage baiting. Because yes, it's a very good win. And yes, Fabio Wardley, you can make the argument he has a better win than Deontay Wilder ever had on his resume. But he hasn't been in a ring with better fighters. Tyson Fury is a better fighter. And Deontay Wilder came close to beating this very good fighter twice. How good is Tyson Fury? In the history of boxing, when you rank him, how good is Tyson Fury? He's up there in heavyweight boxing. Deontay Wilder almost beat him twice. How can you Fabio Wardley has never come close to beating anyone as good as Tyson Fury. So that's what I'm saying. Like, you got to put these things in its proper perspective. And you can't say you want to see the best fight the best, and then when the best fight the best, you crap on someone because they lost to the best. That's counterproductive to the sport. Wilder earned my respect by getting whooped by Tyson Fury. But to y'all, I don't get it. So that's where I'm at with this whole thing. Like, that's my take on it. My take on it is, if it all ended today, you end Fabio Wardley's career today, you end Deontay Wilder's career today. Deontay Wilder's going to the Hall of Fame. Fabio Wardley is not. That may change later on, but as it stands right now, so to make that argument right now is disingenuous. That's my personal opinion on it. I don't know if you have anything else to add, Complex.
I just want to say, bomb squad. No,
I'm not going that far. But let us know what you think in the comment section. And we appreciate you rocking with us. Corner to corner, Caden vs. Complex. We out.
We out.